Good morning, everyone. This is Swift Programming for Beginners, and I'm Koda Shah. So thanks for joining me again. As usual, before we begin, please go to https://rappel.it/languages/swift so that you can follow along with the lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to learn about range operators and loops. So range operators allows you to store a sequence of numbers instead of single values, and loops allows you to repeat sequences over and over again, either on a set number of times or based on the condition. So let's get started. So I'm going to begin with range operators. So all the while previously, what you've been doing is you have been storing single values. So let's say, for instance, let A equals 5, or let B equals 3, or let C equals hello. These are all single values. So for a range operator, okay, it's the easiest thing. I think I'll just show you an example of a range operator. Okay, so let my range equal to 10 ... 20. So what this means is that we are storing the entire sequence of numbers between 10 and 20 inclusive. So 10 and 20 are both included. So if I were to go print my range, let's see what happens when I run. Okay, so it says there 10 to 20. And if you want to see specific values, you'll be able to see that later when we go into loops. Okay. So let's say we don't want to include the last number. If we include the last number, it's called a close range operator. But let's say, for instance, we don't want to include the last number. Okay. So that we call that a half-open range operator. So let my range 2 equals, so we assign 10 ... less than 20 to my range 2. So when you run, okay, so you can see it stores the numbers from 10 to one value less than 20. So it's actually storing 10 to 19. And when you want to think about it, that actually means it's storing 20 numbers. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so that's 10 numbers. Sorry, not 20, 10 numbers. Okay, whereas if you're using the close range operator, you're storing 11 numbers. Okay, so when we have a range, we can actually use it in a loop. Let's say, for instance, we'll start with a for loop. For my range okay. So we're going to print this number. So the way this works, we start with a for, and then number is a temporary variable. So the values in my range will be assigned one by one to number, and that will be printed out in the console. I'm just going to comment this out so that it does not mess up the console results. So you see when I run, so you can see it prints the numbers from 10 to 20. If I were to change this to my range 2, and then I run, so you can see it prints the numbers from 10 to 19. So this is all very well and good if you know exactly how many times a loop is supposed to repeat. If you know you want to repeat the sequence 5 times or 10 times or 15 times, then it's fine. But what if you don't know how long a sequence should repeat? Then we can use two more types of loop, which is called the while loop and the repeat loop. So this is an example of a while loop. So we'll have for y is equal to 0. We assign the value of 0 to y, while y is less than 50. Remember, we learned about compound assignment operators in the previous lesson. So what this does is that every time the loop goes around, y's value will be incremented by 5. Okay. So I'm just going to comment this out so that you can just see the results of the while loop. Okay. So y is 5, y is 10, y is 15, and so on until y reaches the value of 50. So if I were to change the condition, say y is less than 70. So you can see it does it up to 70. Now, for the while loop, what's interesting is that the condition is checked. Okay, the condition is checked when the loop is before any of the statements in the loop is executed. So let's say, for instance, if I set y to 100 and then I run, you can see nothing gets printed out. Okay, this is because the value of y is greater than the value of the value of the y that we are checking for in the condition. So the condition never becomes true. So since the condition never becomes true, the loop is not executed. Okay. So here in this case, the condition is checked. 0 is less than 70. Therefore, 5 is added to y, and the y is printed out, and this repeats until the until the value of 70 is reached, where the condition is no longer true, and the loop exits. Now, let's look at the repeat loop. I'm just going to comment this out first. So when you compare this to the while loop checks for the condition as you enter the loop. The repeat loop checks the condition after you have performed the loop statements at least once. Okay, so let's run this. So you can see here, okay, you can see here that it checks to see, it performs the statement first. Z is initially 0. You add 5 to Z, it becomes 5. Yeah, and then Z is 5 is printed out. Then it checks the condition. Is 5 less than 50? 5 is less than 50. And then the loop repeats until the value of Z reaches a value greater than 50, and at which point it stops. Now, let's say, for instance, if I set the value of Z to 100, you can see that the loop executes at least once. So Z's value is incremented to 105, okay, before the loop exits. So this is these two loops, the while and the repeat loop, are both based on conditions, and it looks to see, and then you have to see where best to use a while loop and where to use a repeat loop. If you need to check the condition before you execute the loop, use a while loop. And if you need to execute the statement first, then check the condition, then you use the repeat loop. Okay. So that pretty much concludes the session on range operators and loops. I'll be seeing everyone again as usual at 11 o'clock. And a small announcement I'd like to make. To date, Amazon reports that I've sold 100 copies of my book. Yay! And I just would like to say thank you very much for those of you who purchased it on Amazon. And again, if you have any issues with the book, please do let me know on this Facebook page. I would like to make sure that everyone has a good experience when using the book. So once again, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.